Hey all, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. I just felt guided to kind of come on and do some like basic readings. I'm really guided to go back to, I guess, like really being spiritual and trying to stay out of the politics, so to speak, even though the politics is obviously like right in front of our faces. I've been really guided to put a lot more emphasis on the spiritual work and getting back to spirit and telling messages from spirit. So I think I'm going to just start doing that right now. So let's see. All right, calling in my spirit team of the highest love and light for messages. And hi, Lorena, how are you? I haven't talked to you in forever. Nice to see you. Hi, Polly. What? I get to see all my friends today. I feel so lucky. I'm such a lucky duck. All right, so let's see what guidance we have from spirit. What messages we have from spirit. Hi, Peggy. Oh, Mel's here too. Hi, Mel. So I have a 10 of Wands that just flew out on the floor. So I think the 10 of Wands, it might be about a lot of information that maybe has to come through in some way. There is a female energy coming in around this that is possibly a Leo female, maybe Aries female. Anyways, there's the messages coming in around a female. She feels like not super, her energy doesn't feel really out there, like in a bold way, but it feels more almost like a cleaner cut, reserved energy, this female, but it feels like they have a lot of information. So it's coming in 10 of Wands. They maybe something they have to talk about or get off their chest in say. It's crossed with a Knight of Pentacles crossing over it. So this could be a general message for some of you, that there could be a female coming through, messages for you. But this just went political for me, and I don't know if I should go political because I don't know if it's I don't know if it's really working with the light if I talk about this. Let me clear the energies and see if this is of the light, if I should even talk about this right now. Is this even of the light, or is this somebody trying to manipulate me and get me to talk about this? Yeah, I feel like it's something working against me in some way. Okay, so I'm gonna not talk. I think that everything that's not of the light must leave now, must leave these cards now, must leave this reading now, everything that's of the light. All right, so let's see if there's more messages around this collective message, around some kind of an offer coming in. So there is a Knight around this female that is slow moving. So it could be that, I don't know if there's an offer around them, some kind of an offer around this female. I don't know what the offer is. It feels like it's in the countryside. I don't know. It feels like it's in mountain, or it's in the valley somewhere. I don't know why that would come in around the freaking countryside. Or it would be a location of what she's around, or something having to do with something that she's around. I keep getting messages around cows, cows keep coming up really strong. So maybe the collective has to it might just be about us finding land, or buying land, getting back, creating a farm, doing something along those lines. It does keep repeating. The energies do keep coming up that we have to get back to the land. I know that there's been a lot of people who have already done that. They've followed their intuition and they have gone back to the land. A lot of people have already kind of walked that path. But it does feel like it's something about us getting back to the land. Almost growing our own food, growing our own resources. I'm getting something like there's something with vineyards here. So it could be like growing vineyards. It takes like how many years to grow vineyards? I don't know. Like if it's like 3 or 4 years, I don't know how long it would take to grow these grapes and for them to, so it's something like that in some way. 9 of Swords is coming in. So it could be that people are definitely beginning to kind of continue on this path of homesteading, okay, or thinking about it, perhaps retiring out in the country or buying up some land. It's something like that keeps coming in. Let's see if there's any other messages coming through around this. I'm gonna clear the energies. How are you all doing? I'm doing good, Lorena. I'm doing all right. Trying to get through. Get through life right now. Trying to get to the other side of this mess. Yeah, gardening as well. I mean, not everybody has the resources to buy land, but I am getting like tending to the seeds. Like, I am getting like growing your own, I guess, seed, like growing your own fruits from scratch thing. Like I was guided to start, is it propagating? I don't know if that's the correct word, like seeds and things like that. I have been working on growing, I guess, lemon seeds. I'm trying to grow a lemon plant, a lemon tree right now. So that takes a long time. So you think, oh, well, I don't have land. Well, it's going to take you 5 years to grow anything. It takes you a long time to grow things. So I feel like it's kind of that messaging, like, just start growing things now, you know? A lot of our own fruit and vegetables have seeds already in them, but we don't think like that. We're used to just throwing everything out. But if you're eating watermelon this summer, you can save the seeds and plant them. You know, you can learn how to turn those seeds into more fruit. If you're, you know, the same with squash, avocado, lemons, oranges, anything you're eating has seeds. So you can use those seeds to grow and harvest your own trees, so to speak. So you can buy them too. I know you can buy them for fairly cheap. But there is something special about growing them as well. Also, olives has been coming up for a long time, like growing olive trees, because it takes a while for olive trees to grow. Okay, let's see. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great to know you're doing. Thank you so much for all of your support and love. Okay, so let's see. Some guidance coming through is Peacock. This is, see, the symbolism always goes back to the dark, so it's like really hard to do a reading without having the dark in. But I guess wherever there's light, there's always going to be dark, right? So I don't know how we can escape it. But when I see the peacock, I see the Illuminati symbol. That's what I'm seeing right now. That's the last thing I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the Illuminati, but it seems to be everywhere right now in all of the news and all of the press. And I don't want to talk about them. You know, I'm so sick and tired of it. So I don't know. It's coming up with the peacock. So I feel like with this messaging here, it's about grounding this peacock energy with the buffalo energy. So the buffalo is slow and steady, okay? I look at a buffalo as something reliable. The peacock, it to me just feels like, you know, you're peacocking. Like you're not, you know, you're not rooted in anything that is substantial. It is a shallow version of a reality. It could be a facade. It could be something like that. So it could be that there is a messaging in here, sense. They control the media. Since obviously the celebrities are in our faces all the time. They're on our TVs and we're watching them. And in some way they are showing us subconsciously in terms of what's acceptable and what is not. Okay. And so I think it's something where we're shifting from the peacock, I guess, energies that is rooted probably in that kind of, you know, that energy of the Illuminati kind of energies moving into Buffalo energies, okay? So the Buffalo energy is definitely something that is more of a reliable energy, okay? So it's less rooted. This really just reminds me of the models on the runway, you know, in their dresses and in their garb that costs so much money to make, you know, and how many people were working on the outfits and just how it's just literally a waste of freaking money, okay? But in that land, it's so much more than that, you know. It's like it's just like the movie Devil Wears Prada, you know. It's like, how dare you insult us, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, so maybe there's a shift going on and moving into the Buffalo energies right now. What? Oh my god, dude, the freaking horse flew out and then threw down the flame. Did you all see that? Dude, the horse flew out and burnt out my flame, my candle. So this is Texas. This is Texas for sure. Like they're not right over there. I gotta fix Texas is a mess, okay? Don't go near Texas, guys, right now. That's a state that has to get figured out. On the back end, in the alternate reality, since the press won't let the other real commands come out, they have been charged with war crimes, okay? That's where Texas is at now. So they must have really effed up if they've been charged with war crimes. They must have done. It's so funny because on the back end, okay, there's all these commands that go out, and they go out every day. There's commands that go out every day, and I'm not the one creating the commands. They're just the commands come in however they're coming in through the military set, and then they go out. But in the shallow land, like Trumpy Dump and all of them, okay, they like blame me because I'm the one saying the commands. They're like, I'm gonna attack her because she's the one saying the commands on the back end. Just because I'm saying the commands doesn't mean you attack me. I'm the one doing the commands. Like, if you guys have been sentenced or you have been charged with war crimes against the United States of America for overthrowing the Capitol, okay, on January 6th, then those are your charges. Like, that has nothing to do with that. Like, don't overthrow the Capitol. Don't overthrow your country. But they get mad. They get mad. Like the people who are part of the Peacock group, they get freaking mad at you. They get mad. Yeah, they're the ones that I'm like, dude, here's a mirror. Go look in the mirror. Take accountability. Why would you have been charged? Think about it. Think long and hard as to why you would be charged. What did you do? It must be really bad if you got charged for these crimes. So, anyways, so that's the energy. So Texas just blew out and put out my flame, okay? Again, it just went out. So we obviously have issues with this right now. Oh, God. I don't know what to do about Texas. All right, everything that's uncomfortable must leave my G field right now because they don't want me talking about this. They don't, George W. don't want me talking about this because it would wreck his reputation and his image. But he was charged with war crimes for 9/11, along with Dick Cheney, and Bill Barf. Anyway, that's my life on the back end, what I have to do with. So Texas is a sitch right now. And you go to targetedjustice.com, which is a resource for people who are a victim of this group. They're a victim of these groups. Now, this is not just, obviously, the Illuminati would be like one part of this group, but there's other groups, obviously, on U.S. soil that are a problem, okay? And a lot of these people in political positions, leadership positions, are a part of them, okay? Some of them are religious, and I kind of talked about that on my last video. The Gangstalking is really sad because it comes through to a level or a degree that comes in a very personal way. So the gangstalking is being carried up through military operations, but the attack coming in through your family and through your friends. It's like all of a sudden they're going to betray you or turn their backs on you, or they'll hurt you some way. They'll say, oh, you're crazy, you're making it up. They'll never believe you. It's things like that. But every single person around you is a victim of this gang stalking as well. Okay, they're all victims in their own way, because this is being carried out by operatives, CIA operatives. It's being carried out by high level operations. Okay, some of these operations are, in coordination with foreign enemies. They're coming in through contracts, like I've talked about. They're coming through private equity firms. They're coming in through investment firms, banks. They'll come in through a hedge fund contract. They'll come in different ways. But those officers or spies or whoever, they're going to basically watch you. And they will use a form of either neural monitoring. They will use a V2K system, which is a voice to skull system where they're in your ear. They're doing all of this with invisible technologies. The invisible technologies were announced in China in 2023. Okay, XI did an unveiling of the invisible technologies and made a man halfway disappear. That is actually a form of interdimensional warfare, okay? It's interdimensional, so they're moving somebody into another dimension, so to speak, so you don't see it. So, for example, Neuralink, okay? Oh, thank you. SF said Amy for the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you. So Neuralink was created by, obviously, Elon, okay? So Elon created Neuralink and made people believe it was a physical thing that you could touch that goes into somebody's physical brain. And that's what you see. If you were to look up Neuralink, you would see that it's a physical metal that's going into somebody's brain, okay? But what they're not showing you is that perhaps there is an invisible metal piece that is going into somebody's brain. And perhaps they're in a facility somewhere, or they're in a lab, okay, somewhere, or in a NASA lab somewhere. And it's in their brain. But interdimensionally, they can attach that biology or that metal piece, okay, that technology, through an implant, an AI implant, into your energy. So you're going to have an AI implant, which still looks artificial. If you were to get an MRI scan, it still comes up as a gleaming white object that doesn't belong in your body. It's still coming up on the scan as bright white, but it's happening in another dimension where they are in some way maybe mirroring that dimension, or they're using some kind of science interdimensionally to have this chip or implant in your brain. And through that implant, they're able to, I guess, use other invisible wiring systems and military systems to, I guess, watch you, listen to you, communicate to you, and infiltrate your life on a level that is biological, okay? It's a biological infiltration. And it's really essentially part of Elon's Nazi regime. That's why he gave the Nazi salute. Now, it was really interesting. I was watching a social media post the other day about Elon, and a guy was like, I don't know, he sounded very knowledgeable, like he knew who Elon was. I don't know if he worked at NASA or if he worked in the space industry. Thank you, Uptick, for the money. Thank you for the donation. You're so sweet. I don't know if person worked in space at all, but he went on and very candidly said Elon was, I don't know if they said he was a clone, but they said that he was of the Dark Fleet, and that he was fully infiltrated and working for the Dark Fleet. And I was like, that's interesting, because around the time that I was getting infiltrated by Elon fully, I mean, I believe, okay, in my heart of hearts, that I was a beta lab rat for Elon's Neuralink, because they were testing this chipping system on me, and I could feel it. And I talked a lot about it on my channel. I was like, I think they're hooking up an alien to me. I don't know what's going on. And they worked on this system and gradually improved from 2021 to 2025. This system has slowly improved, and it has gotten to a level where it is so, God, I don't even know, detrimental to humanity and our sovereignty and our human rights that I've obviously been trying to set off the alarm bells for years about it. That's why I've been so vocal about it. And every time I talk about it, I go under attack. I get in trouble. I'm not allowed to, they go after you. If you start warning your country, you start warning humanity about who they are, they start going after you because they know that the truth will completely disable them and dismantle them. And so I have been trying to tell everybody, I am a full beta lab rat for Neuralink, okay? I'm a full beta lab rat for them. And I have watched how, and it is connected to Mattel, by the way. It is connected to Mattel. So Mattel did the Barbie movie. So Mattel is part of the dehumanization agenda, and it connects back to Beijing, and it connects back to the gaming company that Bill Gates acquired in Beijing, okay? And so the gaming aspects to Neuralink are key because that's part of the metaverse. So it's like you're basically then creating an interactive gaming system through Neuralink, through this chipping system, okay, through this implant system, so to speak. It is Star Wars. It is totally. And so now you can start to see all the screenplays, right? I was just the other day, I stumbled upon some intel by accident. I was specifically wanted to look up a location that I had seen through the metaverse that I physically felt like I was in. Because through the metaverse, it's almost like you're in a video game. So if you're in a military version of this video game, I could literally close my eyes and actively be in like Egypt, for example, through their metaverse. Because it's almost like it transcends time and space because of the science and what they're doing. Because they created like portals, I guess, through their system. And so I've had interactions where I'm physically places around the world. And that's essentially like how I started working and doing, I guess, a lot of military work. Okay, that's how I became a soldier essentially and was on the front lines. At Black Sunrise, she does a really good job explaining what this is. So there's a certain group of people that they choose, and they're basically called super soldiers, okay? And super soldiers are almost like their own form of an experiment. I guess they're kind of like their own experimental program. And I believe there's two versions of this. So she was said part of the undersea program, okay? The undersea program. And I think there's a lot of celebrities that go into the undersea program. So her experiences, I think in the dream state, don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but she talked about having a lot of interactions in the ocean, okay, and doing missions in the ocean, okay, through these implants. She also showed that she had blank on her MRI scan, okay? So it's kind of like through these AI implants, you're having these type of interdimensional experiences. When you close your eyes, it's like you enter into an alternate reality, so to speak. And you can be taken wherever. So these experiences are coming in through dream space, okay? So you could be brought in through the dream space. Now, because of my experience, because my channel read all on politics and I was fully invested in politics, the Mueller investigation, the FBI, I was fully invested in Letitia James's investigations. This is all I read on was that on my channel. That's all I talked about. I specialized in that work for a really, really long time. I had a lot of in-person clients who were into intel. Okay, I had a lot of clients who worked for the FBI, that worked for the CIA. I had a lot of clients in military. In hindsight, now I can see like more of the dots of everything and who I was, but it's like I had a lot of dreams, okay? I still had a lot of psychic dreams when I was doing this work on my channel. And when I had these dreams, they would fully come to fruition in reality. So I had, for example, I had a dream where I'm at an airport, and I might have been somewhere, I don't know if I was on the East Coast or somewhere central in the country. I was in an airport and I saw all these spies. And I knew what they looked like. I knew what they were doing. I knew what information they were passing. Like, I knew everything that was going on. And then I saw a man from Boston getting arrested or stopped at an airport to these spies. And I remember coming on my channel and talking about this dream in like full detail. And it literally happened, like, I want to say like the next day or 2 days later, that a man in Boston got arrested and he was connected to this spy ring. Now I know who the spies, I even have the faces of them. Like, I knew who they were. Fast forward like 3 years later, okay, as I'm going through all of the military ranks and dealing with all different types of agencies and military and generals and things like that, whatever they're doing to me, I've had people come in and go, Amy, you're not like an average person. Like, you were part of intel. Like, you didn't like, these weren't like regular dreams. I just thought I was psychic, you know, like I thought I was a psychic. No, I was part of probably some type of an intel community at that point. That was important for information to get out to other agents. The country was literally under attack. So those dreams were actually intel. Okay, it was like a form of intel that I was getting through the dream state. So however they were doing that to me, I want a pension plan. So I keep waiting. It comes up a lot. I'm like, where's my salary? What happened to salary, guys? I'm missing salary from, let's see, 2007. No, I started 2018 is when I really started probably working, and then it went on to 2025. So yeah, so that's what happened. So then when Elon started testing the Neuralink on me, that was coming in through a space operation. It could have been the Lucy project, because I kept getting the song Lucy and Guy with Diamonds, and that was a NASA project, okay? And I'd also have weird experiences where I'd go to my park and there was like Russians that were photographing me, and then there's like an Asian woman wearing a NASA shirt. You know, I had like these weird interactions where I was like, do 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 do. I am in my zone. What happened to me? And then of course, like everybody around you is under the same targeting programs to try to make you think that something's wrong with you, you know, because you're part of all of the targeted individual programs, or all of the Gangstalking programs, because you get moved into these other operations like the MK Ultra programs, and then nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. And then you're like, they're going after my money, and they're going after this, and they're trying to make me look like this, and then like in the same interim, you're like literally like saving the world, and you're freaking in Africa. You know what I mean? Like it's batshit. Like I can't even tell you what's going on with the freaking Neuralink stuff, but it's really insane. So that's essentially like how people are like, I guess they're quote unquote super soldiers, and they are working within this metaverse. And also within metaverse is secret societies. Okay, there are secret societies and elitists that are part of the metaverse as well. And that's so that they have an upper hand or in the know of what's going on, because that's part of their elite status. Okay, so that goes into global agendas. Okay, and we've seen the global out of AI, for example. So a lot of people are starting to believe it. Yet so many people have come forward on social media, and I'm so happy that many people from these groups are starting to speak out about it. They're starting to speak out about the rituals. I have seen them do these rituals in the metaverse. It feels like it's in real time when I see them doing them. I see a lot, and I don't want to see it. You know, I want to unsee it. But I don't have a choice. I have to, this is who I am. I have to see what they're doing. And you know, at the same interim, I'm also extremely targeted because of my position. There we go, like a justice coming through. It's like I don't even know how to freaking get out. The sad for me is to know that there are people who I believed were in my corner, people who you have seen in the media as well, that I have also watched get infiltrated, okay, through the system. It's really sad when you're watching people that you have your back are getting infiltrated. You're watching them get infiltrated by Vladimir Putin. You're watching them get infiltrated by these technologies, by AI. You're also seeing the demise of your own country through these systems as well. You're seeing people literally get attacked and fall apart, and you're watching how this AI is destroying, people's lives, and you're trying to save them. I mean, you're trying to rescue them in some way. I'm always trying to send white light to them, or I try to heal. If I get a sense that somebody I know that is a good person is going under attack, I try to help them. I try to get the black magic off of them. But in these systems with Neuralink and with the chipping implants, you are literally in like a trap, so to speak, like energetically and biologically, like you're in their trap matrix, which is like all by design. So yeah, that's kind of like the super soldier aspect of it is the metaverse, and it is through the Neuralink. Okay, that's through the Neuralink. So let's see here. A lot is going on in Utah. Have these drones, and most is AI technology, but a lot of visitors at 3 a.m. You mean like in spaceships, like alien visitors? They have the tower coming in. Utah's a freaking problem, man. I mean, I think everybody knows that. On the back end, through the military portals, Utah, the Church of Latter-day Saints has been charged. I don't know if they were charged with war crimes, but they have to pay back every year of taxes they were established. That's their charges that came in on the back end. Because I guess they're not really a church. So that's coming in. That's the morons. I never really understood the joke of Brigham Young University or whatever. But now I finally clicked. For some reason this year it clicked, and I started to understand that they were part of the trafficking. And I started to, now a lot of Mormons have come forward. Female Mormons that their husbands cheat on them, and then they get divorced and they're left with nothing. And many of these women were never educated because they're married off by the time 16. And it's literally like a form of slavery in a sense, you know what I mean? It is a form of modern day slavery. They don't have the education, and these are there's a beautiful young girl, and it's she's just treated like crap, you know what I mean? For no reason, she's just a victim of this sick whatever religion, so to speak. And I don't care if I'm a Mormon. I could care less. I do not stand by you at all. No effing way. I do not stand by any of that. It is just it is happening worldwide, and it's maybe as a lot of this black magic continues to clear, a lot of black magic that has been broken because of we've been forced to break it. Many light workers have found themselves in some of the darkest dark, under some of the most satanic warfare imaginable, spiritual warfare. That is being done on military level. We have been forced to rise from the ashes and literally slay, okay? Slay dragons. We're hell and back. We are not only having to deal with our own karma, but we're dealing with karma from these satanic attacks, because they're putting their karma biologically on us. So we're why do we have all this bad luck? Why is my life falling apart? It's not even our karma. But because of these space operations, probably because of the Dark Fleet and these secret governments, we're the one trying to go through their karma. I haven't had money for since 2021. I'm going through their karma of poverty because they decided to infiltrate my biology and do some type of satanic warfare on me. I'm living out their karma and having to clear their freaking karma. Many of these people have done dark rituals on us. Many of them have done rituals through AI, and people don't even know they're a victim about it. You know what I mean? They don't even know they're a victim of this warfare. So anyway, so many light workers have been forced to rise, and we have been forced to transmute, transcend, and break black magic. I mean, that's what we've been forced to do, is break black. And we've been breaking it at a rapid speed because we have to survive. Literally, it is our survival. So it's really important that, that this, I guess, essentially, that a lot of this stuff starts to come to the light. I was really getting a lot of messages in regards to the LA fires, that because they decided to light LA on fire for their own personal crazy reasons, because they did so many dark rituals in that area on the land, those fires disrupted that land. And once fire hits land, anything that was done on that land is interrupted, okay, essentially. So all of those rituals that they've done there, any party you had, anything they did in that area, anything that touches that land, because that land is going to be spreading out. Obviously, it was spread out through, it was in Hollywood. So anything that happened on that land that the flames touched, it disrupted what was done there. So that all that black magic is basically been broken, okay? So it takes 30 days or something like that for a spell to break. And then once the spell breaks, the ritual breaks, then it's going to take probably around 6 months, I think, for the energies to start to come to the light. But it's all of a sudden, it's going to be, it's going to be something where the information just, appears, where people are like, how come I never noticed that before? Or how come I didn't realize that before? How did I never see that? That's what black magic is. It's a mask. It's a mask over the energies. So they're right in front of you your whole life, but until that ritual or spell breaks, you won't see it. You'll never freaking see it. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, that's what that means. And oh, that's what that is. And then you'll start to see, now I can't even watch a movie. I can't even watch a movie, without looking at it and being like, understanding what they're sending, the messaging they're sending through the movie, through the writing. Like, I can't watch a movie normally anymore. I'm like, oh, this is their satanic agenda, and this is what they were putting out, and this is what they were telling all their friends. And when all their friends saw this movie, they knew what the agenda was, and they knew what was going on. I don't see movies the same way. I see it as completely different. Now I'm watching, I didn't mean to watch it, but I accidentally started to watch The Handmaid's Tale, okay? And I had a client years ago in 2021 that was like, that sounds like The Handmaid's Tale, and they were talking about this show and all this stuff about the show, but I didn't see it. I didn't even come near it until 2025. And then I'm like, we're Gilead, you know what I mean? I'm like, God, it's us. I can't believe this. Trump in his regime is Gilead. And I'm now seeing it all, with the churches, Mormon Church and the Church of Scientology and all of that. I'm like, oh my God, it's what they did. They turned it into that, and it's literally it's oh, I'm understanding what this is now. I get it now. I understand it. That was the agenda. That's what they were talking about. Part of that agenda. You know what I mean? I know it's based off of a novel. I understand that. But it's because they did this show at that time period, they wrote it around that time period. That's the time our country went under attack. Okay? That is the time period our country went under attack. And Hollywood and the Church of Scientology are one, okay? And they're all part of these agendas. Scientology is its own secret government. They're their own CIA. They are their own entity. And so they have hands in every part of the industry. They are media. They are the media machine. They are. So if they have their hands in space tech and, they're doing things. They're in the Church of Spiritual Technology, okay? And they are manipulating people's timelines and doing things that are not okay. They're all a part of the writing, and they're all a part of the shows and the funding and the producing and everything like that. They're all part of the writing. For Gilead. Yeah, I'm just going to call Trump's regime Gilead from now on. I'm just going to refer to it as Gilead. Because that's honestly what I've seen on the back end. Everything I'm seeing in freaking, I mean, it's probably not a coincidence, the episodes I'm stumbling into. Like, I'm not personally watching the show. It's like being pushed in front of me, energetically. Like, I don't have a choice. It's like the people around me are suddenly watching it, and then I come in and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And they're like, they have to kill the commanders. And I was like, oh, juicy, oh, it sounds like our own military right now, like it's all kind of like there, you know what I mean? Like something's obviously not right with the US military right now. Something's not right, Something hasn't been right for a long time with the US military. Your life has been hacked and you're hijacked, so you're waiting for it to actually get good. Yeah, that's how many of us have gone under a form of spiritual warfare. It is a military grade warfare. It's done through everything. US I think is probably in the worst position right now. There was a spiritual worker who came to, I guess she's not from this country, and she came and visited this country twice in the recent months, and her experiences are so horrifying. I'm so sorry that you came here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you did that. I'm so sorry you had to experience this awful country right now. We're in the worst state possible. So she came in and she said, so I visited the US recently, and she's like, I don't think the sun is really a sun anymore. I'd already picked up on that. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm seeing people from Saudi Arabia in our sun. I mean, I've been seeing that for a year. I'm like, something's not right with the sun. There's been farmers who have posted videos of sunflowers and they're not facing the sun. He's like, there's something wrong with the sun, guys. My flowers don't face the sun. Sunflowers face the sun. I'm like, oh my God, we're in a simulation. What did they do to the sun in the United States? What they do to the sun? I've been trying to heal the sun for years. I've done so much work on the sun to try to heal it. And every time I fix it, another freaking team of scientists or psychopaths come in and they undo whatever I do. It's literally to that degree. I'm in a war over the sun right now. You know what I mean? But then she said, and the country is laced with black magic. She's like, it's in the air, it's everywhere. And I'm like, it is. It is. It literally is. I try to clear the black magic every day. It's so much black magic, dude. There's so much black magic going out. If you don't clear yourself regularly, I swear you're bound for something bad to happen. It is because we are under such heavy spiritual warfare, it is almost guaranteed. It's whatever could go wrong, its energy would go wrong because we are under such black magic attacks. The black magic attacks are coming in through systems. It's coming in through chemtrails, okay? It's coming in through nanotechnology that comes in through chemtrails that go into the skies. These are programmed nanobots. It's nanobots. So it comes in through a military system. They literally have the codes for demons, okay? I'm not even kidding. Because everything is broken down into codes with Techies and with their Satanism. So they have the codes for demons. So they'll go, and then they're like, okay, we put in for demons. And then they put it in, and then they send out the chemtrail. And it's like demons just come out, and you're like, all of a sudden you're like, ugh, I feel sick, and I don't know what I mean. Oh, it's that kind of an energy. It's literally that kind of warfare. Many of our weapons contractors, I've gotten messages we're fully infiltrated by Russians. I've gotten messages that I was looking up our weapons contractors the other day. And hi, you're welcome. yeah, so I was looking up, where our weapons contractors are, and like I'm trying to figure out the locations, and I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I'm always trying to figure it out because it's just like who I am. But it's just a lot of stuff that they're moving, a lot of dark contracts that they're moving through weapons deals, through military contracts. The military contracts have all been through privatization. They're like their own private companies essentially. Once these military are under their contracts, they're pretty much working for these companies. It's all like I'm sorry, hold on. I think I'm gonna throw up. I just hit on something hit on something like that I think is important. And I just got like really sick. On the back end, in command, on the back end, the commands have gone out. Every man for themselves to uphold and protect their oath and to protect and serve Americans, American citizens. I think I messed up the whole sentencing. It usually a little bit smoother than that, but that's the phrasing, so to speak, is every man for themselves. I'm doing those commands, I want to say around 2003 or early 2024. And so those are the commands that went out to the military. All military, because at that point we knew that Air Force was, I want to say, fully infiltrated by that point. The Navy was almost fully infiltrated at that point. There was a lot of branches of military that were compromised and had been infiltrated on a level that they might not even have known that they were even infiltrated on or compromised on. Just because of the advancement of the AI and a lot of these private contracts through military. So a lot of the commands that have come in is that these military contracts are null. Okay, they're null. They're not real military contracts because we understand now how our country was infiltrated. And these contracts were actually not U.S. approved contracts. These were contracts that were done in coordination with foreign enemies. Okay, so these foreign enemies include Russia, Saudi Arabia, and United Emirates. Okay, those are the main ones. Now, there was a weapons deal. I believe it was a 28 billion. Was it a 28 billion weapons deal that was approved by Donald Trump in 2021? Our country was already under attack at that point. The insurrection had already happened. Okay. Not only that, but there's missing information leading up to the insurrection that our country still does have the correct information about. It was withheld from us because of the people who were in leadership roles at that time. The AG at that time was Bill Barr, and the CIA director at that time was Gina Haspel, and the FBI director at that time was Christopher Wray. These were all Trump-appointed roles, okay? These were all Trump-appointed roles. And we still did not get the full information at this point in time in regards to the real discovery of the 2016 election. We never got the actual, true discovery that was included in a secret binder that the American people never even got. They never even got Mueller's discovery in the secret binder. So that information didn't even start coming to light until 2023. 2023, that information started to really come to light. That we were missing the key evidence that he was not the president at that point. So there's a lot of stuff that people don't understand. Now, I was reading on this stuff on my channel, and I had a lot of intel that I was getting that I didn't know. I didn't have, I want to say, full evidence that it was real intel at that time. I might have felt it was around intelligence officers or around people in intel. I might have known an intel community, but did I really know? No, I knew. No, I definitely knew that I was getting real intel, I think at some point, or probably around 2020, 2021, because it was coming into fruition. It would come into fruition in some way. But I guess in hindsight, I'm realizing it never really hit the masses in the way that it should have hit the masses. So when I was getting messages that our country, I was getting messages in 2020 that Trump's never leaving, guys. He's never going to leave. I don't see him leaving the White House. This is it. This is it. He's the last president. This is it. That's the messaging I was getting all through 2020. At that same time, we are smack dab in the middle of a pandemic, okay? which now we know was also part of a deep state agenda, was part of a population control agenda. Okay. And, on top of that, they're crashing the National Post Office with DeJoy, which was also an appointed general by Donald Trump. Okay. He was crashing the U.S. Post Office in 2009, right before a national election. And so it really is like, everything got really quiet in my headset. Like they all cut out. Yeah. I did it. They left. Yes, I'm free. I am free. Oh my God. I broke the headset. They were all like, wait a second. What are we doing to her right now? Why are we killing her? Oh my God, what are we doing? Cut the headset. Oh no, our country is under attack. Oh wait, she's been saying in the military portals, we are under attack. How long has she been saying this? Oh my God. So all of that stuff really never came to the light to the degree of like how bad the country was already under attack and fully infiltrated. So yes, we witnessed the January 6th insurrection, but we believed that there was a transfer of power. We believed that everything was going to be okay. We believed that there was an election that happened with Joe Biden and that he was coming in and that everything was going to be okay, that he was going to save us. Oh my God, all this black magic is coming up. Oh my God. And so there was a lot of this like hush-hush stuff about Joe Biden. There was a lot of people going, oh, are you the actual president of the United States? There's a lot of people doing interviews with him going, are you the actual president? And, or is he the real president of the United States of America? And people would say, no comment, no comment, no comment. There's a lot of that was going around on social media. So, to Joe Biden's defense, I'm going to say, he was an elected official. He was an elected vice president, okay? And so he did earn the seat, okay? So if, for example, our country went under attack, I'm just going to give this to you from an intelligence perspective, okay? If our country did go under attack in 2016, okay, which it did, and there was a fraudulent election and it was a bank contract, crap, I'm going to because everybody's coming home right now, then it would defer back to the other presidency. So that would automatically go back to the Obama administration. So in a sense, it's just a continuum of the administration. So they didn't do anything wrong, okay? But I will say the information never came out correctly. And there was still a back military that was being operated on the back end under Donald Trump, okay? And we had already been infiltrated to enough of a degree through our CIA and through the FBI, through his appointed officials, including General Mark Milley, okay? And General Milley was in power still through most of Joe Biden's administration. And that's who I saw in the military portals working against the United States of America. And that's why I started to do all the videos about it. So I will leave you guys there. I love you guys so much. Thanks for all your donations, your support, and love. I'm sending you guys so much love and blessings, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'm also opening up readings as well. You can do through my PayPal, and it's just $75 for an hour. So if you guys want to sign up and book with me, you can do that, and I'll leave all that information below. All right, guys, take care. Bye.